This is Charleston's retirement coach, Brandon Bowen.
Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for downloading. Most importantly, thanks for listening. This is Charleston's Retirement Coach Podcast with Brandon Bowen. It's all powered by Bowen Wealth. You can get more when you visit bowenwealth.com, and you can find that and all the information in the show notes. My name is Mark Owens. Now, let's get to the show. Brandon, it seems like every time we turn on the TV, we open up X. We just open up a website. Fast and Furious, I think that is just the theme for the Trump administration right now. It's like every day it's more executive orders.
Yeah, every day I'll come home, I'll go like, man, I wonder what's happened today. And normally it could be a sleepy day before previous administration. But yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, so much stuff to catch up on from one day.
Listen, if you're a journalist right now and you are not, did you hear that somebody from CNN was on one of the late night talk shows and they said that, hey, during the Biden administration, we pretty much had weekends off. Well, those days are gone.
Oh my gosh.
So,
yeah.
There is a lot going on, but the one thing that we focus on every week here on Charleston Retirement Coach is your money, your retirement, your income, and that includes your Social Security. And we've been told that if Congress does nothing, this Social Security Trust Fund could run dry by 2034. That could lead to up to about 25% cut in benefits. Now, something that Trump's plans to cut taxes could potentially worsen the problems. I want you to hear this clip from David Dooley of the Social Security Risk Score. He has a solution.
There are products out there now that have a Social Security protection rider that basically will create an enhancement for your income should Social Security change the rules on you. Because I think everyone's sort of perking up and saying, wow, this is a real risk. If I'm going to plan retirement income, I have to consider the stability of Social Security.
So he's talking about annuities, Brandon. How are you helping clients plan now in case Social Security benefits are cut within the next 10 years?
Yeah, so annuities, of course, could be an easy solution there. Now, there are other ones, so don't think that, I'm only, talking about annuities right now. But yes, what he's saying is there are products out there that if there is a change to your benefits where it will trigger and basically compensate for that shortfall there. So what we're talking about is a Social Security risk score. And what that technically is, Mark, is basically the percentage of your protected income that is comprised of Social Security. And what we might see is, if you were to come in and we look at what you have currently set up, your Social Security risk score might be 100%, meaning your only source of protected income right now is Social Security. You have no pension, like a guaranteed lifetime income pension or other annuities, things like that. So if you only have Social Security, then you already know that you're at 100, okay? Mm-hmm. And that is the maximum as far as risk here, right? You're walking around with the potential of, if there are some changes to it, that it could drastically affect you there. For us, what I like to see is, once you come in and if you become a client, I would love for your Social Security risk score to be under 50%. Okay. Because what that means that we have diversified your protected income streams. Let me tell you a story I can think clearly because this was recently within, I'd say 2 months ago. A client came in. His wife was already a client. He was still working, right? So he still had his money in his 401k. He was a longtime engineer at Bowen. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure we have plenty of Boeing employees listening now, or you might know some of them. So he's 62 years old. Great health, and he had saved $1.5 million.
Solid.
But he was very concerned about layoffs, right? I mean, as a lot of people are, we're seeing that across the region here. A lot of different things, either voluntary layoffs, federal employees, right? Yep. We've talked about that. All these things that are happening. So anyway, he was really concerned about that, and he didn't hate the idea. He's like, Brandon, if I'm trying to act like, I don't really want to retire, but if they, offer me this, hey, I'm listening. But he was concerned about outliving his money because, both of his parents are still alive. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're 90 years old. They're doing okay. When I sat down with them and looked at his Social Security risk score, he was at 100. And he was extremely stressed out, also because of his job. And, okay, what am I going to do? Because he didn't have a plan in place, right? We hadn't really worked on his side of the assets there for the couple. And it was affecting him physically. His wife would tell us, I can hear him just taking these deep breaths in the
you
other
said it
room.
before. The number one fear for adults approaching retirement is, will I have enough money?
That's right. Yeah. Will I have enough? If I get blessed with long life like my parents, I mean, what if certain things happen here and this portfolio starts going down and down and down and I run out of money, right? So that was his concern. We went to work and we put that plan together for him and for his side of their money, and we were able to create $100,000 of protected income. We were able to take his Social Security risk score down to 25. Okay, meaning only 25% of his protected income was coming from Social Security. We did this. We put this in place. Now everything can be easily managed. And it was so funny. I just thought about this. We had another Boeing employee come in this past week. And after we had our first meeting and stuff, and he mentioned two people, that have already retired from Boeing. And one of them is this story that I'm talking about now. And he's like, he's enjoying retirement so much. And he told me about how he went to a birthday party for a friend of one of their grandchildren. Yeah. And he was loving retirement. Just like, he's like, I've never seen him smiling so much, so free to, not really worried about, okay, Monday's coming, rolling around here, because he's got that retirement plan in place. And so it all kind of starts here. You listening, it starts with this Social Security retirement risk score. And there's various solutions that we can consider here that have, different degrees of guarantees. Okay, so it is up to you, for you and I, to sit down and design your blend of guarantees for your retirement income. But yeah, we've got to build that and make it work right alongside Social Security.
So I hear Social Security risk score. 843-890-2400, bowenwealth.com. But I got to be honest, Brandon, I'm having flashbacks of high school and the teacher giving me the Scantron and getting my number 2 pencil. I was never a good test taker.
That's the best thing about graduating, right? Because you're like, never again to take those tests.
I still have nightmares of taking the SATs. When we take advantage of that Social Security risk score, I mean, break it down for me. Give me the Cliff Notes version. Give me the study hall version of what is that like? How long does it take? Are there right answers, wrong answers?
No, there's no wrong answers. It's basically you have to unfold and uncover everything that you've done. And maybe maybe that's embarrassing for some people, or because a lot of people do, they'll show it to me and then they're like, I'm sure you've seen people with more, and I stop right away and I would go, no, do not compare yourself to somebody else. I mean, if this is all you've done, right? This is your life savings. Of course, everyone wishes that we started earlier in life and have saved more and all this, whatever, but that's in the past. If this is what we have to work with, then we're going to be extremely careful with that, right? And I'm going to treat that as if it were mine. I mean, I'm here to help you look good, right? And with whatever you've saved, we start looking at it. Okay, here's where does all of your money sit? Is it in 401ks, or do you have other, sources of income, other pensions? Or what I will start to see is if you only have Social Security, if that's your only income stream that we can put over in that income column, big portfolio doesn't count, right? Because it can go up and down. It's paper gains. It could be paper losses. It's wild. It's all over the place, right?
Yeah.
It's out in the storm, out in the ocean, like there's some hurricane, and it's wild. It's like a buoy that's broken free. Who knows where it'll end up? So that's a portfolio. But you might have some hard work that you've done. And so then what I do is I come alongside you and I say, okay, let's now take this money. We got to start giving it marching orders. We've got to start telling it what we want it to really be good at. You can't be good at everything. Your money can't. Now, if with your portfolio, you can take certain chunks of it to make it really good at maybe safety and income. And then we might take another chunk and make it potentially really good at growth and liquidity. And then there might be some that we're going to take and really earmark it for tax efficient strategies. Right? Like Roth conversions, things like that. So we can build a perfect plan, I believe, but there's no perfect product out there. But, Mark, for your concern about what do? We just take a look at what you've done. And then I first want you to agree with me with your word saying, okay, I agree that, Brandon, we need to rebalance this thing and make it geared for income in retirement. That, if we're going to walk away from our employer who's been paying us income every 2 weeks or every month, or weekly or whatever, we've got to have another employer. And that's where I believe your money, your portfolio becomes your employer, okay? Because we want it to start paying you income. I want your bank to think you're still working, because here comes a steady paycheck every 2 weeks or every month. We've got it coming in. So that's what you do is we sit down, we take a look at it. So there's no wrong answers for this test. I just tell you, hey, how bad is it? And then, of course, what can we do to fix it?
Do you ever have people that take the Social Security risk score and they get an answer and they go, okay, well, can I take it again? I don't like how this turned out. Is there a do-over?
Well, we do basically do it over once we're done. So once we've put the plan in place, then I do like to circle back around. I'll say, hey, that number where you were at 100% exposed and at risk and at the mercy of bureaucrats in Washington, now you're only 30%. Right. Or now you're 20%, or now it's 50% because you really wanted to keep some more liquidity in the portfolio. So I do like to circle back around, and I guess this could make you and I feel better. A low score is better, Mark.
All right.
A low score is better here with this Social Security risk score. We don't want to have that risk too high. Okay.
Right.
So we do diversify and make this portfolio all for your benefit and for your income.
How do we take advantage of the Social Security risk score, Brandon?
Yeah. Pick up the phone, reach out to Tanya. She's standing by right now. If now's not a good time, still, maybe shoot her a text and say, hey, call me on Monday. But our number at the office is 843-890-2400. 843-890-2400. Text the phrase Social Security risk score, something like that. SS risk score. You can text that phrase to her. We'll know exactly what you're wanting provided for you. I don't charge a penny for this. When people call in and come into the office, even if you come in and you're like, Brandon, I need the full workup. I need the full second opinion. I want every x-ray you got. I want a Social Security score. I'll be able to tell really quick what I think would be beneficial for you to just help you see, what you're doing well, what you could do to potentially improve it, things like that. I do all of that on a complimentary basis. And Mark, the reason I do that is because I don't have a lot of tire kickers, that come in and just go, yeah, and then shake my hand and leave. I mean, a lot of people come in and, and we hit it off, or they see value in what we're doing. And they say, yeah, you know what? Yes, I want to become a client because I've been missing out on this. My current person, my guy or girl, is not doing the same service for us. And it's time we get this in place. So reach out to Tanya. If you've saved $500,000 or more, pick up the phone, 843-890-2400.
And I hope you take advantage of the opportunity to text with Tanya right now. I mean, what we're saying, like 2 out of 3 people that reach out every weekend, are via the text line. And it's just a quick text. And if you say SS or risk score or Social Security, Tanya will know what you're talking about. She's on the other line. It's not a call service. It's not somebody that's on the other side of the country. It's one of the people you'll meet when you work with Brandon and the team at Bowen Wealth. Feel free to text again right now, 843-890-2400. Or if you have a couple of questions, you can make the phone call. Tanya's available right now. And if it does go to the voicemail, somebody will call you back as well. 843-890-2400. So I want to continue on about the advantages of working with you. And you just mentioned that, hey, maybe I've been working with somebody and feel like they're missing some opportunities. There was an article in Money Talk News that listed some of the dumb money mistakes that adults make after the age of 50. And the first one that I caught on to, that what do we, as dudes especially, what do we all want to do once we retire? We want to open that tiki bar at the beach.
Like call it the Soggy Dollar or something like that.
Sandy Bottoms, something
Kenny
like that.
Chesney's playing there every day.
Yep. You think you're going to have a little Jimmy Buffett bar because we all grew up on Cheers. We all think, man, that would be the dream to have a nice little tiki bar. And well, the problem is that is one of the worst ideas you can have in retirement, Brandon.
I would agree. That's probably the worst idea of, especially if you haven't done that ever before, managing a restaurant, your alcohol licenses, all these things.
You got to manage people.
Running off, they're drunk, they're like, they didn't pay. Oh my gosh, that could be the worst.
Yeah, I mean, then you've got like taxes and small business owners. God bless you. You deal with so much more. Like, hey, look, if it's something you've been in the restaurant business your entire life and this is your ultimate dream, great. But if you're just coming from Bowen, like, we're not going to say your next step should be to open a bar, because the biggest problem, Brandon, is all your degenerate friends want to come drink for free.
Yes.
So those are liquor costs. So anyway, we're just talking about some of the fun, dumb mistakes that we make over the age of 50. But there was a good one. One of the dumb money mistakes is that adults over the age of 50 never hired a financial advisor.
Can I tell you my dumb money mistake real fast?
I wish you would.
So Christy comes in, my office manager, compliance officer. She comes in. She goes, So, Brandon, you know the water cooler that we've got in our break room? I said, yeah. She goes, well, I looked at the bill. So we had this thing on auto pay, right? Like a good customer. So we've had it on auto pay. And so she looked over the bill here and she goes, I noticed the water dispenser that we have in the break room there. We've been paying $30 a quarter to lease this thing. And I said, what? We're paying for I know we pay for the water. That makes sense. But I was like, but the cooler, we pay for that? She goes, yes. You've been paying for that $30 per quarter for the past 8 years. Okay. So I did the math here. That's right at $960 that I've paid. So I said, okay, cancel that. She ordered one from Costco or Sam's or whatever for like $150. So I could have bought 6 of them by now. And I'm sitting here paying for this thing that I've been leasing for 8 years. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have got to talk about this on the show. I'm glad she finally kind of looked at it and then brought it to me and we addressed this thing. So that is a dumb money mistake that you're just so busy and you listening. I mean, we all have been doing that. Okay. So this is, a funny story at my expense here, but you might be doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. You need a second set of eyes on what you're doing, because here's what I think we could do potentially for you. If you were to let me put a second set of eyes, we could potentially lower your tax burden. How does that sound? We can review some tax strategies that you're doing, maybe look at where you could do long-term capital gains instead of short-term. If you are your RMD age, if you're over 73, have you heard about qualified charitable distributions, QCDs? Okay, that can lower your Social Security, Medicare taxes. Roth conversions. Okay, once you retire, if your income has come down, you should be considering converting some of your tax deferred money to never taxed again money. So we could potentially lower your taxes. We could create a retirement plan that would give you, the confidence to spend with lower stress, right? You could even have time to exercise with your spouse and lose weight a little bit, which would add to longevity. We could maybe maximize your Social Security. And I'm not saying wait till 70. I mean, that's about every article that you read. If you go pull up Social Security strategies, it would say wait till 70. Well, that might not be the best option. You might not make it to age 80, where that strategy then usually catches up. So we've got to look at everything that you have going on and how does Social Security best fit into that plan. Are you aware of the divorced benefits or spousal benefits? If maybe your spouse did not work outside of the house very much, well, there's benefits for her or for him. And I would say maybe the last one would be think about your current financial advisor. Maybe you have hired somebody. And so think about him or her. Are they the same age as you or even older? Okay. That might be a concern, right? Are they on the cutting edge and paying attention to current strategies out there, portfolios that utilize AI in ways that, can just be smarter and smarter and smarter, right? And that's why I like our Market Guard portfolios that give us all these indicators on what moves we should make. Should we buy, hold, sell, re-enter the market, right? So we use some of the best portfolios that are out there. Your advisor, if they're your same age or older, they might be getting ready to retire.
Yeah.
Or mentally checked out, or both, right? And I say you deserve someone who's going to be there one day when you might not be there.
To go back to school, you remember your senior year, you had senioritis the entire last year.
My older daughter, Ava,
she got it right now. Yeah.
Making her try to keep her grades up. And then, I'm getting things that are very out of like she's getting dress coded. Okay.
Oh,
she's gonna be so mad at me for talking about this. She's never done anything, like she didn't dress properly. She goes to Palmetto Christian Academy over here. So like she got dress coded. I'm like, Ava, what the heck? She's like, Dad,
what are they going to do, fire me?
I don't want to go to school anymore. I'm just ready to go to college. I was like, I get it. So yes, same thing here. Your advisor might get dress coded. No, I shouldn't say that, because I do like to dress comfortably at work.
Yeah, but there's a difference between khakis and a polo or Bermuda shorts and a Tommy Bahama shirt.
Yes. So, take that. That's some real conversations there, yes, there's probably some wisdom and things and yes. And so you want to work with somebody that knows what they're doing. That's, been around the block a few times, as I have as well. So that's back to your original question. I would say, yes, that is dumb to try to do this on your own, because you've never retired before. Right? You can't just early on, when I have young people 40 years old, even 50 years old, and they reach out, and a lot of times I say, it's not time to hire me yet. Okay. You can do this. If, I say, send over what you're doing, and I see that they're in the S&P, and I'm like, yes, just, keep doing that. Keep pursuing growth. And when the markets go down, put more in there, right? Retirement's not for another 15, 20, 25 years away. I mean, this is great that you're taking, advantage of this. You're trying to bring in professional advice at this point, but now's the time to keep the pedal down. Don't worry about it, but call me when you are 55 years old or when you're 60 years old. Now is the time to put that in there. In that article, Mark, that you cited there, I did see that bullet point where it said that the study found that a hypothetical $500,000 investment over 25 years would grow to $1.7 million if they managed it on their own.
Right.
But if they had an advisor, it would have gone to $3.4 million. That's twice as much.
Yeah.
And I don't know, of course, what they used there at Vanguard, but I feel like Vanguard is, no nonsense, low cost ETFs. Mm-hmm. So it's a way of, having nice discipline during the volatile years.
And I think it also boils down to as well, if I just have one simple question to call somebody that's local, that lives here, that works here, plays here, family's here, man, I'm thinking about buying this boat. What's your opinion? Talk to me honestly. Instead of calling like an 800 number where you're just your customer number A3749. Cool.
Yes.
We'll have somebody call you back in 4 hours.
Mark, I had a client. They've been a client for about a year. He shoots me a text and he goes, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And so there was, I don't even know if it was a scam. It kind of sounded scammy, but it's like, "Hey, my son has a friend. They work for a company who is about to IPO tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. And they want us to buy $10,000 of shares on this IPO here, right away. Then they're going to buy them back from us." And I texted back and said, "Hey, thanks for sending that over. IPOs are very risky, right? Yeah. We don't know are they going to surge up? Are they going to crash? We have more of a disciplined approach here at Bowen Wealth with your retirement plan. Let's give it some time. Let's see how this company settles in, see what." And he texted back. He goes, "Brandon, thank you so much for helping me stay disciplined here. I'm so glad I've got my team here. Thanks for responding. Have a good night, kind of stuff." So exactly what you're saying.
Sure.
Right. To have somebody that can, I had another one text me. He said, "Hey, we're thinking about filing for Social Security next month. Should we do it?" I called him. I said, "Hey, this is a little bit bigger conversation, then let's revisit our plan here. Here's what we talked about. What's changed?" So yes, you want to have somebody where that you can pick up the phone, shoot a text, shoot a call to us, get me, your advisor, right? The guy you're listening to right now, get me on the phone. We can have that conversation. If it's short, if it's a quick text back, or maybe it's like, "Hey, come on in. It's time for your review. We'll look at everything else. We'll make sure that this works with our overall plan." So,
okay, Brandon. Somebody's listening this weekend. They're like, "All right, I like what this Brandon guy says. All right, he's speaking to me right now. I've got some questions, and I've done a really good job saving for my retirement. I'm getting a little bit closer. Just got some questions about Social Security, about my tax strategy. How do I reach out to you? How do I take advantage of that initial consultation?"
I want to offer a complimentary 1-hour session with me right now. A complimentary 1-hour session where you can come in, write down some of those questions, because sometimes people are like, "Oh gosh, there were so many other things." So, just make some notes there, bring them in, and we'll go through it. And then I'll have questions for you. And then we'll be able to really start to get to know each other of like, okay, with what you've done, I think I can really bring some value to what you're doing. So grab your phone. I know it's right beside you right now. Grab your phone. I want you to either give us a quick call or a text right now to 843-890-2400. 843-890-2400. Tanya, my assistant, she is standing by right now. And say, "I want to take advantage of Brandon's complimentary 1-hour session. 1-hour review." And, once we finish that, you're going to know beyond a shadow of a doubt if you want to hire me.
Yeah.
It's high time we bring someone alongside us who is a retirement specialist. I like what he says. I want to get a second opinion here. Don't know if we're going to use them or not, but I want to get this opinion. I want to get this plan that he talks about all the time on the radio. So pick up the phone, 843-890-2400.
Thanks for listening to Charleston's Retirement Coach Podcast with Brandon Bowen. To learn more, visit bowenwealth.com and join Brandon for his radio show, Charleston's Retirement Coach, Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 94.3 WSC.
Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if J. Brandon Bowen is licensed in your state, please call 843-203-2030. J. Brandon Bowen is an investment advisor representative of Bowen Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. J. Brandon Bowen is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Bowen Wealth, LLC, insurance licensed in South Carolina. Market Guard is a registered investment advisor with the SEC and provides model portfolios only to Impact Partnership Wealth. Market Guard makes no implied warranties or representations and is not liable for any data presented.